That's $90,000 to drive cars. That doesn't make sense. Would you believe me if I told you that from the beginning of my working life, new cars cost me over $1 million? Stick around and I'll tell you how I fell into the car payment trap that lasted 15 years. Yeah, my first new car, I was 19 and it was a Ford Escort. It was the XR3, but still, it was a Ford Escort. And probably the worst car I ever bought, but that was the beginning of making payments. And then from that Ford, I jumped to Toyota, another Ford, a Mazda, back to Toyota. And during this whole period of my life, I had a car payment. I mean, it was mid 80s and 90s, so the payments were only between $250. I think the highest I paid was $4 something. So it wasn't extravagant, but well, for then it was, and for the amount of money I was making, it probably was extravagant. And what pulled me in, was it that new car smell? New car smell. But it was probably more than that. I mean, you're driving off the lot, a brand new car, you know, you're looking cool. You're like, yeah, this is my new car. It just felt different, especially for a brand new car. If you're driving off the lot with a brand new car, and fortunately, I've only done that 3 times, I think. Yeah, I've only done that 3 times where I bought a brand new car. Other than that, I bought used cars, but I still had 5 years of payments, even with that used car. But it just becomes a vicious cycle of constantly having to upgrade your car. You know, oh, it's not running good. It's clicking. Something's going on. Head to the car lot, trade in your car. You might get 40% of what you paid for it, half of what you paid for it. If you're lucky, if it's a good car, maybe 60, 70%, but most likely no. So what's the true cost of that new car? I'm sure if you've bought a new car, you've looked at your contract and you see with interest what you've actually paid, and that's probably a little shocking, but think about this. In today's dollars, those mid 80s to 90s prices, I'd probably be paying $500 a month for a new car, and 15 years times $500 a month, that's $90,000 to drive cars. That doesn't make sense, but it gets better or worse. I guess it depends on how you look at it. But let's look at some numbers. All right, let's take that $500 a month for 2 years. That is $12,000. For $12,000, you can get a decent used car and pay cash for it. So after we use that $12,000 to buy our new car, we're starting at 0. If we save for the next 13 years at 9%, still contributing $500 a month. At the end of that 13 years, we'll have 137, 720, 31. So if we take that and continue it further, and let's say we go 20 years, still at 9%, $500 a month, we will have 1,078,819. So that's basically 35 years of car payments, and you'll have $1 million. And I told you in this video that I came that close to buying a BMW Z4. I mean, we came scarily close to buying it. But those numbers I just showed you, those are the numbers we looked at. And after seeing that, I just couldn't do it. The realization of what are these car payments really costing me? In the long run, it was costing us our freedom. And I do wish I had seen this math earlier, but I'm really glad that I saw it when we did. We'd probably still be working right now, and all for a BMW Z4. Yeah, not worth it. And at the end of we were paying off our debt, the last payment we made was for a Mercedes. It was a used Mercedes, but it was a nice car. But paying that car off when it was still in good condition and had decently low miles, the feeling of that was just, it was just unreal. I mean, I think that was the first time in my life that I didn't have a car payment. I mean, there might have been, no, I don't think so. I think that was the first time. Sad but true. And life without a car payment at all is just, it feels good to be able to put that much more money into our investments, and it just got us that much closer to the end. At the time for us, it was only $400, I think, is what we were paying, but it meant a lot. And it turns out driving that paid off car feels just as good as driving the car with a car payment. In fact, I think it feels just a little bit better. Okay, a lot better. So I'll ask you right now, what are your potential savings if you didn't have your car payment? find a compound interest calculator online, input your car payment, try 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. How much money are you gaining? It's a tough pill to swallow when you look at the numbers like this. I mean, what good is a car? It gets you from point A to point B. Does it really need to be a $50,000 car? Can a $15,000 car get you the same distance? Probably with less gas, because it's probably a four-banger. Or you could just keep driving that same car. I mean, what's the longest you've driven the same car? 10 years? 15? I actually drove an '89 Toyota pickup for about 10 years. And when I sold it, 335,000 miles. That's actually a really good truck. But at the same time, I was paying on a Toyota Camry, brand new. But then again, everything's electric now, and I have no idea how that even works. Do you have to pay for electricity when you charge your car at a station or at I have no idea. And speaking of electric cars, this is really off topic, but we rented a car and we did the manager special. We were doing a one-way from Sacramento to San Francisco, as we were flying back here to Hawaii. And the manager special was electric car only. We had no clue. I didn't want to mess with that. It was a one-way. We didn't have a lot of time to be messing around. We needed to be able to get to the airport and be on our way. We had to pay a little bit more money, but it was worth it to have the gas instead of having to mess with electric, especially when I know nothing about it. I don't know, I'm old. It's, you know, old dog, new tricks. Didn't work. So next time you're tempted by the aroma of that new car smell, buy one of these. Don't buy a new car. Or if you're gonna buy a new car, pay cash for it, because you can buy the scent for $6 instead of 60,000. So have you escaped the car payment trap? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your story. So if you want to hear more about our life of retirement and financial independence, retire early, like, subscribe, share. Maybe you could share it with somebody who's strapped with car payments. Or that might make them mad, huh? If you'd like to hear more about changing your whole mindset when it comes to your money and the story about that BMW Z4 that I came that close to buying, watch this video here. Thanks for watching.